part of my speech prepared, but I wasn't quite expecting those sort of words there from old Mr. Babel. So thank you very much for your very kind words. I really do feel part of the family. But more importantly, thank you for your very generous contribution towards this very special day. It's something that Bronnie and I will be eternally grateful for a very long time, so thank you. I must say I feel quite honoured, or really honoured, to stand up here today and actually to call myself a husband. It's taken 36 years, but it really was worth the wait. So when I met Bronwyn, there was something that sort of just clicked and ticked, and I just knew that in time that this day would come. As the man of the moment, it's my duty to thank all those involved, and many of you guys have travelled quite some distance to be with us today. And I'd like to make special mention to the guys that came from abroad, which is Brian and Marty from the UK, Amanda and Michael from Dubai, Sandy all the way from the States, Laura from the Seychelles, Rob and Les from Luxembourg, and my best man Greg all the way from the deep bush in Mozambique. And I have an important announcement later, and it's, now, when this ring came on my finger today, I've always had one father, and now I've got two. And I must say, I'm quite chuffed that I can now tell people that one of my dads is an ex-tough Springbok rugby player. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that announcement a little later, and why those two are quite connected to each other. So, with all you guys here, I'd just like you to all raise your glasses for all the people here that's present to celebrate this day. So thank you for all being here. I'd also like to sincerely thank Bronnie's mom and dad, Paul and Dee, for making me feel part of their family from day one. Paul might not think so, but I always saw this little glitter in his blue eyes, and I knew that there was something friendly behind the whole hard exterior. And his sisters too. I mean, Joe and Debs. You've made me feel anything more than welcome, and I really thank you for that. It can be a little challenging when two families meet, but our families got together during our little engagement party up in Johannesburg, and I must say, myself coming from two brothers and Bronnie having two sisters, so it's an all girls and all boys family, I think that both sides of the family have adopted brothers and sisters that they've never had before, and the same goes when it comes down to sons and daughters. And I feel that as time goes on, all these relationships will only sort of get stronger, and we're very excited about it. And then to my mom and dad, you've helped me enormously over the years, and they've seen me through thick and thin. Your commitment to us children and to one another in marriage has laid down the perfect platform for me to grow into the person I am today. And I just hope that I've made you proud. I really couldn't have asked for better mother and parent, for a better mother and father, and I thank you for everything you've done. So I'd like you all to please raise your glasses to my mom and dad. Okay, now the wedding. I mean, after many years of coming to a wedding, I don't think you never quite appreciate the planning and the detail that goes into making a day like this actually happen. Now, I'd just like to thank my beautiful wife for all her efforts. Paul, all I can say, if it wasn't for Bronwyn's attention to every detail, including the budget, you may have had to put that order on your Porsche on hold. Bronnie's talents never cease to amaze me, from building our wedding website, formulating complex financial models, and compiling a guest list with our friends' families' demographics, matched with each person's personal preferences to food and music, that had formulas capable of launching a rocket into space. Baby, my beautiful wife, you're one in a million. And then again, like Paul said, thanks to Carla and all the girls from Absolute for taking our idea and putting it into practice, and you've done an outstanding job, so thank you. As I mentioned earlier, I have a wonderful announcement to make. And I also mentioned that Paul Bavel's rugby achievements had something to do with this. I don't know if you guys can recall, but there was an Alan Gray advert that was on TV a couple of years ago, an award-winning advert. And basically it was about a little boy that takes it upon himself to protect this little girl at school. And she's sort of an awkward girl, quite clumsy in her ways, and for that, the whole school sort of picks on her. But this little kid is always there protecting her, keeping the bullies off her, and obviously he gets the brunt of it most of the time, and one day ends up with a bloody nose. And the little boy's efforts are always spurred on by the advice of his father, which is always to look for potential and then have the patience to wait for it. And at the end of the ad, you see the little boy escorting the girl back to her house the one day, and there on the stoop sits this beautiful, gorgeous mother. Now, I can relate to this ad in some ways, but in my life, things are a little different. Bronnie is already a grown-up, gorgeous woman, also a little clumsy and awkward at times. But I don't need any confirmation about her potential because she's already accomplished so much in her life. And is a remarkable individual, and I'm lucky to have found her. But you can't help looking at Denise and knowing that Bronnie's beauty will last a lifetime. And I would like to believe that I took the analysis just that one step further. I wasn't just looking at the mom, but I was also looking at the dad. So when I found out that Bronnie's dad was an ex-Springbok rugby player, I thought to myself, I wouldn't mind a bit of green and gold running through my offspring one day. Which leads me to the big announcement. On the 23rd or 24th of November this year, Bronnie and I are expecting our first child. And who knows, he might be a little Springbok rugby player, or she might take after her go in her mother's footprints to become an investment banker. But all we really care right now is that we've got a little something growing and we want it to come healthy. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to hand you over to my best man, Greg. I would just like to say a special thanks to all my groomsmen for their friendship and their support over the years. Collectively, you have known me for 158 years. I've not said too much about my brothers in arms, but I'm sure Greg has a story or two to tell you. So I'll pass you on to Greg.